Alright, Game Bears, it is time for a new episode of Unused Content in Games, and today we have the unused content of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Now this one's going to be a bit of a shorter video, since all I was able to find here was just some unused animation and unused colorations. So, before we begin, I'd like to ask those of you who enjoy this content to subscribe, and if you happen to enjoy this video at any point in time, please do subscribe. It helps out the channel, it's free, and you can always change your mind later on. So, let us begin with Kirby and the Forgotten Land unused content. Alright, unused colors. Yellow Kirby. There's a file in this code over here called bodycolor.bfres.cmp that seems to contain material information to change Kirby's colors. Most likely depending on what ability Kirby would have. Like in previous games like Kirby Superstar, depending on what ability you have, he'd turn yellow, blue, red, green sometimes even. Like if he has the beam ability, for example, which isn't in this game by the way, he would turn yellow. Or as you can see in this picture down here, in previous games like Superstar and Superstar Ultra, and even in, well, not in Amazing Mirror, I was about to say that, but that's a different case. If he has the fire ability, he would turn red, and if he has the ice ability, or depending on what game you're playing, the freeze ability, he turns blue. If he has plasma, he would turn green. However, in games like Kirby's Amazing Mirror, the different playable Kirbys are different colors as well. Yellow, green, and red, and even some blues and whatnot. And other Kirby games like an Air Ride. Heck, there's even other members of Kirby species that are different colors, this could also be what these are references to. But anyways, keeping going. The parameters included in it are called base_2p_body and base_2p_foot. And they contain values to turn Kirby's body color yellow and his feet orange. Yeah, those different codes are used to change the different colors for Kirby, depending on what's called. This is how code works. The values can be applied to this base model and will change Kirby's color correctly in-game. Judging by the name of the parameters, these materials are most likely intended to be used for a second player Kirby, but in the final game we only got Bandana D. Like in previous games. And here's what it will look like, Yellow Kirby, or in Kirby lore, this is known as Kirby over here. But that's a discussion for another day. Alright, ability colors. In past Kirby games such as Nightmare and Dreamland and Superstar plus Superstar Ultra, the game's remake, Kirby Superstar's remake, Kirby's skin color would change upon obtaining certain abilities, as I mentioned before. Since Kirby's return to Dreamland, abilities no longer affect Kirby's color in every future game since then. Nevertheless, the same file that contains the unused yellow colors also has a fully functional feature that allows Kirby to once again change his colors when obtaining an ability. However, color parameters with a specified naming scheme have to be added in order to make the file have an effect, since all it contains is the unused second player color, that being the yellow color, which has always been player 2 Kirby color in most Kirby games like in Return to Dreamland on the Wii, and its Switch remake later on. The naming scheme the game searches for are ability within brackets _body and ability within brackets _foot. For all forms of a single copy ability, likely if Kirby got that ability, it would change its color accordingly. And ability in brackets _evolution _body and ability _evolution _foot. For evolution specific colors, which take priority over the former. The function responsible for updating Kirby's color does not affect Kirby in the world map, nor while using a mouthful mode. As the world map, Kirby does not run the function, and mouthful mode models have different parameter names than what the game attempts to update, since you can't use mouthful mode in the overworld. That's only in certain stages. Alright, should custom color palettes be added to the material data, Kirby's skin color will change when picking a copy ability, which can likely be hacked into the game since it's already mostly functional. An example with the fire ability is shown below. As you can see, here's a closer look of it. Alright, here's an unused emote of a surprised face that Kirby has over here. Kirby has an unused surprised emote, which during gameplay has no assigned button to it. It also includes the two unused animations surprise and surprise start. This is different from the cutscene animation of Silladillo, as that is a different animation altogether. It has a value of 0/6 in the code, and this is what it looks like. Just getting an even closer look at it. This dumb looking face, I'm surprised that didn't become a meme or something. Anyway, some more unused animations. King Dedede over here looking a little shadowy, I guess. King Dedede has an unused sitting animation, most likely meant to be used when or while in Waddle Dee Town. It's called Wait03, and is located in this huge code thing over here. In the final game, King Dedede is just seen laying down his little famous lay down pose that you see in Smash Bros. On one of those benches. So maybe he was just initially going to sit down, but then this little bit of code over here is clearly very unfinished. as King DDD is mostly just some cel-shaded graphics in his colors. It doesn't look right and very unfinished. Alright, in this whole code over here, I'm not going to say all of that, DDD has some unused animations. Some are new, while some are from Star Allies. Reused animations, which, funnily enough, DDD has a significantly different design here than he does in Star Allies. And I've said it before in my Return to Dreamland, not my Return to Dreamland, in my Forgotten Land playthrough a few years ago, that I wasn't really the biggest fan of the way King DDD looks in this game. The way he looked in Star Allies I thought was fine, so it's kind of weird how he has two different designs between those two games, yet they reused some of his animations from there, when his designs are completely different, since this design here is closer to his design from Kirby 64. But anyways, which does not fit the model at all, as I just mentioned. This caused it to look a little weird. Alright, lock non-demo animation. Definitely does look a little weird, like his feet are kind of coming off his body a bit there. Alright, here's the hammer twirl animation, since this is an attack he never uses in the final game, as that's an attack he does have in Star Allies, and later Return to Dreamland. Or before the original Return to Dreamland and then Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Here's Giant Swing, which, yeah, this looks even weirder. It kind of looks like his body's flattening up a bit, but I think this was most likely used as some sort of placeholder in case they decided to use these animations and fit it for his design in this game. Alright, here's him T-posing, asserting his dominance as usual. Alright, and Kirby has a few unused animations. Inside, I'm not going to say all that code once again, has a bunch of unused animations. Some are leftovers from Star Allies, while some are unique to this game. Most of these have texture patterns and bone visible to them. Alright, here's Kirby about to fall off a cliff. Kind of wish they kept in that one, actually. You kind of see that in the Smash Bros. Games, depending, like, whichever character you're using, they look like they're going to fall off the edge when they're at the edge of an edge. Anyways, waiting... variation stretch, most likely an idle animation that got unused, which I kind of like this animation. I could have sworn that was used in the 3DS games, or at least something similar was. Alright, waiting variation. Honestly, kind of looks similar to an animation he had in Kirby's Air Ride. And finally, a look around animation, most likely just another idle animation. Alright, there are also unused bone visibility animations called Run Fast. However, there was no animation for it. It is unknown what this could have been. Maybe when Kirby has a speed boost? Maybe, but that animation was clearly never made, that the code for it was made. Alright, Meta Knight. In this code, once again, Meta Knight has a bunch of animations that are left over, stylized animations. Though there seems to be original ones such as Sword Kick. Alright, here's him walking. And unlike King DDD, Meta Knight doesn't really have a redesign in this game. Though you can see his little shoulder pad over here isn't exactly attached correctly. So you can tell this is definitely unfinished. Alright, here's Wing Condor Dive. Most likely one of the attacks he would use in his boss fight. A chopping animation. With his wing slightly animated, but not by much. Some parts of his wing, not the whole thing. Alright, here's when he's angry, which is notably reused from Dark Meta Knight's angry animation from Kirby Triple Deluxe. So that's most likely where that was pulled from. But it was never used, and you can tell it's very unfinished. And the sword kick animation for if Kirby took too long to pick up the sword that Meta Knight gives him. A very similar animation that he has in Star Allies. It is a common thing for games to reuse assets from previous games to kind of make developing, like, saves a little time in developing. Alright, Morpho Knight. Or technically Galactonite, but not exactly in this game, since that Orange Butterfly takes over a completely different entity, but that's a bit of a spoiler alert in case you didn't already know. I should probably give spoiler warnings in these videos, shouldn't I, eh? Well, from now on, I should start doing that. But anyways, like Meta Knight, Morpho Knight has a bunch of leftover Star Allies and Meta Knight animations. However, there seems to be a lot more leftover Star Allies animations that was not in Meta Knight in this code. As I said in my Forgotten Land playthrough, yep, Revenge of Morpho Knight. Anyways, here's Dying in Wait animation. I guess what happens after you beat him, though, his wings are a weird gray, sky, cloudy color. Demo Appear Cut 5 animation, where he seems to be doing some sort of sword twirling animation. Alright, him just waiting, I guess is a little idle animation I want to say. And finally, guarding, when Kirby tries to hit him and you can guard immediately. Notice how he doesn't have his sword on him, though. So that makes me think they initially animated this without his sword. But you can tell it's also very unfinished since his feet are kind of, morphing into his body. Somewhat. There's some unused songs. Inside that code, once again, is a music stream file called K15_BGM. This whole thing. It weighs 352 bytes, or takes up 352 bytes of space. I don't know why it says weighs, but whatever. That's because it's completely empty. The file name suggests it could have been used as a test file during development. Okay, I can see where they're going for with that. And finally, internal project name. The game is more common. Project name is Kirby 15, most likely referencing that it's the 15th mainline Kirby game. And fun fact, actually, back in September of 2021, I believe, this game was actually accidentally leaked. And a lot of people knew about it, and then later on, this game was formally announced because of it. Which happened to another Kirby game that came out a year prior, that being, if I remember correctly, it was Super Kirby Clash, which was a game that came out about a year prior to that, the leaking of this game. 15th mainline. This is because Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the 15th mainline game if remakes are counted. It's also called quotations balloon and quotations balloon 15, most likely again referencing that Kirby can flow like a balloon. Or simply BL in other materials. Alright, well, that being said, this one was a bit shorter than some of the previous Unused videos, and I'd say please answer the question of the day, and that being, as usual, what Unused content that we went over here today would you like to see in the final games? And me personally, I think just the simple color change with the abilities that you can get with Kirby is something I would have loved to see in the final game that we haven't had in a Kirby game since Superstar Ultra. But anyways, thank you all for watching this edition of Unused videos and Unused content, in games. If y'all enjoyed this and want to see more, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And again, like I said before, consider answering the question of the day. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you learned some, and have a terrific day.